Terry Francona, our guest on Inside the Park before the second and final game of this Birmingham Chattanooga series tonight. And I got to tell you, I think after last night's get-together with you here before and after the game, Joe and you and I and the coaches sitting around talking and reminiscing, and I think 7 years ago when you were with the Cincinnati Ball Club and you and Buddy were so tight, Buddy Bell, never ever, did you ever think you'd be in this position 7 years ago, that you'd be managing in the minor leagues? Not only that, but doing it very successfully.
No, Marty, I just, when we go back to the 7 years ago, I loved playing, just loved it. And I'm glad I realized at the time how much I cared about baseball and how fortunate I was. But no, I thought I'd play my 8 or 10 years, whatever it was, get out of the game and do something else. The last couple of years I was playing, I started realizing how much I actually liked watching the game and learning about the game. And in fact, Buddy Bell's the reason I got into managing. He's the one that called me, and he's responsible for me being a manager.
Terry, some people yesterday in talking about the success that you've had last year, a championship in this league, your first year at AA for you, and named by Baseball America as a minor league manager of the year, they said one of your endearing features was your amazing patience with young ball players, which I have to think for a guy who's only 35 years old, that's something that you normally don't find in guys as young as you are managing.
Well, I hope I have patience, and I think if I do, one of the reasons is because of the kind of player I was. I think I made managers have patience. I mean, I was a very fringe player, and I made a lot of mistakes. And, I think the one thing I'm trying not to do is forget how hard this game is, because it can be awfully difficult. And once you step on the other side of the lines, I think people sometimes forget that it's an awfully difficult game.
People have made the comment, I guess maybe this is an unfair question, because unlike a Pete Rose or a Tony Perez, whose managerial career was relatively short-lived by comparisons to Pete, but starting at the major league level, inevitably you hear guys say, this is nothing I ever dreamed it would be this way. I don't guess that's the case on a minor league level when you start out down here, is it?
I think it's a lot. It's a lot. You have a bigger advantage when you start the minor league level. First of all, you can make mistakes earlier in your managerial career. People don't notice them.
Right.
The games aren't televised. You have chances to make mistakes and grow as a manager and make your mistakes without the press noticing every mistake you make and jumping on them. I just, the people, when you talk to a player at the A-ball level, you can tell them to try to run through that wall.
Right.
They're going to try.
Yeah.
They may not be able to do it, but they'll try. Get to the big league level, and they're going to question your moves, and egos become involved more than at this level.
Terry Francona is our guest, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
With just one taste, you're gonna discover there's just one place with the taste of Barleycorns.
Hey Cincinnati, get set to chew it up on the patio, because Barleycorn summer patios are now open. We're serving up a sizzling summer barbecue menu, loaded with exciting homemade barbecue delights, cooked up right to bring out all the tasty and tantalizing flavors of summer. Choose from our delicious barbecue chicken pizza, cheddar barbecue chicken, mouth-watering baby back ribs, barbecue chicken breast, and other sizzling summer meals with our very own special savory barbecue sauce. You've never tasted anything like it. Stop in with friends after work or bring the whole family. It's friendly fun for everyone when you queue it up on the patio at Barleycorns, with locations at the Yacht Club on the river, downtown, Montgomery, Hyde Park, Lakeside Park, and Western Hills.
A great place to meet and eat. Barleycorns.
Cunningham here. Join me tomorrow night at 9 o'clock right here on the big one, 700 WLW.
Birmingham, Chattanooga, the second and final game of the series here at Birmingham's Hoover Metropolitan Stadium tonight. Terry Francona is our guest on the pregame show. What do you do now? I mean, you've had great success in 3 years as managing and highly thought of in the White Sox farm system. Now do you start to think about possibly managing on a big league level one day?
Marty, I think if somebody ever thought I was qualified to be a big league manager, it would really be intriguing. But I don't know that that's necessarily my main goal. I really like the minor league side of things. I like the major league pay and the minor league side. I like working with the minor league guys there. You ask them to do something, they really try to do it. There's a lot more teaching involved, a lot more learning, and they're fun to be around.
Terry, we were talking last night, and you joke about the career that you spent, a 10-year career that should have been 7, and this type of thing. You're the most self-deprecating guy I've ever been around, I think. And I really have to wonder, and Joe touched on it, you suffered 2 serious knee injuries, one that came relatively quick in your big league career when you first came up with Montreal. We were talking, Joe and I, going back to the hotel after the game last night, what might have been for you had you not suffered that first knee injury?
You know, Marty, in all honesty, when I suffered that first injury in 1982, my goals sort of changed. All of a sudden, you know, I come out of college and I'm kind of a hot shot player, a little bit cocky, and, you know, hit for a high average, and you know, I think I was second in the league at the time in average, and never drove in runs ever, but hit for a high average. And all of a sudden, instead of trying to lead the league in hitting, I'm trying to make the ball club. And that's, you know, your goals change, and I don't think it's by anybody's fault. It's just I couldn't run anymore. I didn't hit for power. I was a first baseman outfielder. You need to hit for some power or be able to steal bases. So like I said, instead of trying to be an impact player, I was trying to make a ball club and make a living.
Yeah, but you never seemed to let it bother you. You never were bitter. You never talked about, boy, if I hadn't suffered this knee injury in 1982, I'd have been a hell of a player. That never seemed to bother you. You took with whatever came along and you roll with the punches.
Never, ever once bitter in my entire career. I really feel fortunate. I played for 6 organizations. I played with some amazing players, some great managers. I met people like you saw. We sat here last night and laughed for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we did.
I had a wonderful career. I was very proud of what I did. Didn't accomplish what I wanted to.
Right.
Very proud to get the time in the major leagues I did, and I had a ball.
I have to say, as we wrap the program up, that one of the great things about coming down here was a chance to reacquaint ourselves with you and have an opportunity to spend a day or two with you and chat, and we hope that you have the greatest of success.
Marty, thank you. It was my pleasure.
Terry Francona has been our guest. Stay tuned. Joe's up next with the On Deck Circle on the Reds Radio Network. Stay with us.
Inside the Park with Reds manager Davey Johnson has been brought to you in part by the Jewish Hospitals, surrounding you with the best. Now, stay tuned for the On Deck Circle with Joe Nuxall on the Reds Radio Network.